The Masters is a lot about ceremony, pomp, circumstance, but it's so genuine, and it's the collection of the golf community every year. And I know one person who loved that, if possible, more than any of us, who joins us now, is Jim Nantz. I would always see Jim at the first tee that morning, watching that ceremonial tee shot. And here we are on the Thursday of Masters Week, Jim. And I'm in Michigan. You're out your beautiful place in Pebble Beach, and we are getting to chat and visit, but not in the place we normally do. How you guys holding up out there, buddy?
We're holding up just fine. Thank you, Mike. It's so good to visit with you. We've texted a few times, and I've seen you a lot. You've been busy. Bless you for maintaining some normalcy for all of us by being able to hear and see you, whether it's your Olympic shows, whatever it might be. But yes, we've got some memories together down there at Augusta, and this is always one of my favorite days of the whole year in the sports landscape. And you mentioned it, the opening tee shots. It's is it a sporting event or is it ceremony? I don't know, but it's special. It's rich, and I love watching it. I've never missed it in the 34 years that I've been fortunate enough to be at Augusta, going back to '86. And come November, we'll have a chance to do it again.
Yeah, the Masters scheduled for November. You mentioned '86. ESPN re-aired the '86 Masters yesterday, which happened to be your first, and it's one of the most memorable of, if not the most memorable of all time, when Jack Nicklaus at age 46 famously wins with a second nine that still resonates. And Jim, I watched yesterday, and I was getting chills watching it again and get all wrapped up. I'm curious if you had a chance, whether it was yesterday or other times for shows that you've done, gone back and relived that '86 Masters.
I actually did a look back special at the '86 Masters with Jack Nicklaus on one of my Remember Augusta shows. But I missed it yesterday, and I was wondering, we were out as a family taking a walk around the old neighborhood, and I started to get a bunch of text and people. They must have had a pretty good audience, because there are a lot of people that were providing some feedback, including the on cameras that we would begin the broadcast with back in those days. And I was not quite 4 years removed from graduating University of Houston. And I think people were a bit shocked at how young I look back then. I'm an old guy now, but or vintage, whatever it is. But those are some special memories for sure. That '86 Masters was amazing. And so was last year, by the way. And so was '04. I mean, the scripts through the years are so great. And that's one of the many reasons why there's nothing like the Masters.
And you talked about that as we're all trying to put a bit of a fresh look at some of these events as we go back and show them. We did it last week with the inaugural Augusta National Women's Amateur, and I spoke to the two players who were involved centrally in that, Jennifer Kupcho and Maria Fassi. You're going to do that when CBS turns the clock back to Mickelson and Woods and their Masters titles, and you got a chance to speak to them this week to make it even a little bit more interesting. Just curious, as you look back with them and set up some of the things we'll see in that broadcast over the weekend, it's amazing, Jim, how vivid the memories are for the golfers, especially when they win, and especially how much granular detail they can share with us of those moments at Augusta when it led to a green jacket.
Well, you know how golfers can always remember and cite how they played a certain hole from 15 years ago. Well, it's been 16 years since Phil won that '04 Masters, and the minute detail that he gets into, I mean, it's brilliant. And I want to make it very clear, because I'm so appreciative. Phil and Tiger, from their home computers, and me from my home computer right here in Pebble Beach, we didn't do an interview. We did a couple of hours worth of golf commentary and perspective. So they are throughout the broadcast, not every segment, but maybe every other or every third segment, doing long stretches of golf commentary. Mike, these were on-the-spot auditions, if you will, for Phil and Tiger, and they both passed with flying colors. You're going to be, I'll give you an example. Phil was playing with Chris DeMarco in that final round in '04. Ernie was up ahead, making a lot of noise. And it could be as simple as, Phil, here you are on the tee at 12, and at this point, you're one behind Ernie, but let's go over to Ernie now. Second shot at the 13th. You know, Jim, what he has here off the lie this is always one of the most demanding shots, blah, blah, blah. Let's go back now, Phil, you're on the tee at 12. And that's easy for him to talk about. But the point is spinning away from that and talking about others during the course of a round, Bernhard Langer, whoever it might have been in 04, Phil takes the analyst role, the Faldo, Raftery Hill, Romo role. And, I mean, he did a great job. And we taped Phil first. And then Sunday, we're going to have Tiger for the look back to 19. And I didn't know how much of a commitment these guys wanted to make to it, but they both spent more than a couple of hours going through the segments and going through the golf. Now, this is a year ago for Tiger. And again, when you start to hear the sensory overload that these guys have, and Tiger talking about the wind conditions that were not visible with the eye, just looking down at 12 where everything unfolded, what he was seeing in the bushes and the trees and all of this stuff that he was picking up on and putting into his data bank before he hit his shot safely on the green. It's fascinating. And Tiger, same thing. We're cutting away over to Shoffley, over to Cantley, and Tiger is running with it. And we got into a rhythm and flow with these guys that I was impressed, and I was grateful that they made such a commitment to time to make it right, to make it gold for the viewer, to freshen it up. And I think people are going to really enjoy it this weekend.
That'll be a lot of fun. All of us are so used to being really busy, and obviously for you, NCAA tournament just ends, then you go to the Masters, and we talk about that every year when we get together, that shifting gears from this 70,000 seat raucous arena with dome football stadium to what the Masters is all about. What is it that you are missing the most about this stretch, and in general, Jim, about sports? Because I think a lot of us are realizing how much sports is our lives and how much the void is unfillable right now for so many of us.
I think if we didn't know it already, I think we've gotten a real checkpoint here of how vital sports is in our society in this country. Now, I know other countries are rabid soccer fans or whatever it might be, but we have so many sports that we avidly follow here as a culture. And for it to all be taken away from you at one time, it's been jarring. What do I miss the most? I miss, of course, being with all of my CBS colleagues. These are lifelong friendships. I've been there for 35 years. And we love that challenge of trying to get through this stretch and nail the broadcast. I know you can relate to it, Mike. Take the NCAA tournament. There are 3 teams in the arena that night. There are the 2 teams that are playing for a championship. And there's the broadcast team that's trying to win its game. Now, we don't have a scoreboard to look up and say we won or we lost. Yeah, right. It's subjective. So you might walk away and you might think you won. All you have to do is go to a social media site, or somebody might be reviewing the broadcast and they're going to tell you didn't win, or they're going to tell you did win. But you know in your heart, without that feedback, whether everything was in synchronicity from the truck to the broadcast crew, the technical crew, you know through all the years whether you nailed it or not. And you don't really need that feedback. And you respect the fact people have different opinions. But the challenge of it, to come together and try to present the best NCAA tournament and to try to make the Masters what it is. It can be, as you know, Mike, all those years, it's pure poetry. I mean, at times, the music, the visuals, the drama, the history, the heritage, the champions off the first tee to get it started on Thursday morning. Whatever it might be. I mean, it is like one of the, if not the ultimate stage in sport. I'm not sure there's any arena really that can bring all of those sensory overloads I mentioned before together, and to try to make it all work. The tapestry of a broadcast. I miss that challenge, but we'll get a chance to do it again, Mike. We as a world, obviously this transcends us as a nation where we are right now. This is a worldwide crisis, but for all citizens of the world, I really have so much hope in my heart and faith and belief that, and saying this respectfully, for knowing how many people have already suffered terrible losses, and our hearts and prayers do go out to them. Yeah. But I do believe that we're going to get through this. We're going to have a recheck of things in our lives and a greater appreciation for the little things and how fragile it can be and how fast it can be taken away from you. I will never look at the world the same.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm the busiest guy in the business because I have 3 primary sports with the NFL and all that. But you win that award, Mike. I mean, your versatility and the things you do, I marvel. And as a friend, I full disclosure, I worry about you. I would love for you to have even more time with Debbie and your children, even though they're growing up now. Your beautiful family. But I've had nothing to do, other than starting to work on this Masters show this week, and I've enjoyed that technical challenge of trying to make it work from here. But I think we're all going to be looking at things a little differently, Mike. Moving forward with our time allocation and how we do it, and finding ways to do it better, and the things that are most important in your life, your family, and making sure that that's unrushed time moving forward. And there's more time if you can.
That has been the blessing. That has been the blessing for all of us. If there is anything, and as you said, it's been so terrible to spend time, more time at a time when we all be on the road with our families and being able to share and enjoy some of those moments. And you're right, the appreciation, the lens through which we'll view this going forward will be great. Well, I look forward to watching the Masters stuff. You stay safe. Best to the family out there. Enjoy those walks out of Pebble Beach. And we hope to see you back in the arena again real soon. Jim, thanks for coming on for a few minutes.
Mike, thank you, my friend. You're a treasure, and you know how much I admire you, but I love you as a friend, and all the best to you and Debbie and your family. Thank you.
Same here, pal. Best to Courtney and everyone. Jim Nantz from CBS. Great that Jim, who's been very busy doing media stuff, took some time out for us. Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.